Good morning, dear children. Let's start where we left the lesson My Childhood in the previous video. On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of the segregation of different social groups. He said, though that time the discrimination between Mohammedan and Hindu religion were not there, but that society was very rigid in terms of segregation, meaning differences, changes of different social group. However, my science teacher Shiva Subramanya Iyer thought though an orthodox Brahmin with a very conservative wife was something of a rebel. Most of the people were very orthodox at that time. But he says that my science teacher, his wife was extreme orthodox Brahmin, but he was a rebel. He wanted to do something different. He did his best to break all social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. He was not following the social barriers. He wanted that there should be proper opportunity for every people to mingle, to mix easily. He used to spend hours with me and would say, Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated people of the big cities. He used to say to Kalam, because that was a small town and most of the children were not getting very high education. So he used to say to Kalam that Kalam, you should develop. You should take very high education as far as that small city is concerned so that other people will also inspire after seeing you. One day he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified, afraid at the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dine in her ritually pure kitchen. One day the science teacher invited Abdul Kalam for dinner. And his wife was unable to digest this fact that in her pure Brahmin kitchen, a Muslim boy will come and he will dine. He will eat. She was not ready to accept this fact. She refused to serve me in her kitchen. As she was so rigid, out of her orthodox behavior, that a Mohammedan, a Muslim boy, how can she serve in her kitchen to that Muslim boy? She denied. She denied to serve him. Subramanya Iyer was not perturbed. Perturbed meaning here disturbed. Nor did he get angry with his wife, but insisted. Served me with his own hands. But Subramanyam Iyer, the science teacher, he neither showed any sort of anger on his wife, because in a way he was also following, that was very natural, because his wife had always seen those rigid cultures to behave like that. But on the other way, he did not want to send Abdul Kalam without eating anything. He served him himself with insistence. Obviously, if the wife denied, so Abdul Kalam must not be thinking to eat there. But he, the science teacher, insisted him to dine or to have dinner there. So it was this way he forcefully served him with his own hand. Not only this, and sat down beside me to eat his meal. Not only he served him, but he sat down with his meal at his side. That was not very common for those times. His wife watched us from behind the kitchen door, and his wife was watching everything from behind the kitchen door. She was not coming inside, but she was not leaving the site as well. I wondered whether she had observed any difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, or cleaned the floor after the meal. Actually, Abdul Kalam could not understand what was the problem of science teacher's wife, because the way his teacher was eating, he was also eating. The way his teacher cleaned that area, that place after meal, he also did. So being a child, he could not understand how it happened, how this thing happened, that why the wife was so behaving in such a different way. When I was leaving his house, Subramanya Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. See, this way it was told that he was a rebel. Subramaniam Swami not only given him complete respect this time, but also he invited him for next weekend also. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset, saying, once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. When Abdul Kalam hesitated how he could say yes because his wife was not happy with his arrival to his home, but he said, such situations are very common. If you want to change society, you should not fear with this. When I visited his house the next week, Subramanya Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and served me food with his own hands. But next time the situation got changed. Next time in the picture you can see Subramanyam Iyer's wife himself did all the formalities. Then the Second World War was over and India's freedom was imminent. Indians will build their own India, declared Gandhiji. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. I asked my father for permission to leave Rameshwaram and study at the district headquarters in the Ramanathapuram. Now, in between, World War II completed, finished. India became independent. Gandhiji also declared that now we will have our own independent India. Everything seems to be coming in the proper shape as per as the expectations was. And meanwhile, Abdul Kalam sir requested his father to allow him to come out from that small town of Rameshwaram, but for his higher studies he shifted. So dear children, as you have seen, if you want to do something new which society is not accepting at beginning, definitely if the purpose, if the cause is right, you should not take your feet back, because problem and their disturbance is very common. But like Abdul Kalam, science teacher, he kept on insisting the same thing, and he was capable to change his orthodox wife's thinking. And next time when Abdul Kalam was there, she herself gave food. So it is very extraordinary and it is common, universal I should say. He told me as if thinking aloud, Abul, I know you have to go away to grow. Does the seagull not fly across the sun, alone and without a nest? When he was asking permission from his father said, Abul, I know you have to go. You have to frame a way for yourself, because you are like a seagull, a big flight bird. That seagull had to fly all alone. He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother, your sons are not your children. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thought. Definitely, these words he said to console his wife. That every